take on the issue of bride price, a system whereby men presented 3 cows to a potential father-in-law in exchange for marrying his daughter. Felicula especially respected the power of tradition, but not as an excuse for reducing women to chattel. The bill to ban the payment of a bride price passed easily, but a backlash erupted. Rural women felt diminished. In their eyes, their economic value had been decimated overnight. Women and men across the country raised their voices in protest, and many parliamentarians blamed the outcry on the rashness of their freshman colleagues. The women parliamentarians had failed to understand the depth of cultural practices in their own nation. They focused on what could be, but neglected to recognize the world that was, including the high-stakes realities of politics. In 1987, just a few days after the bride price fiasco, Felicula was killed in a mysterious hit-and-run accident. Some assumed it was a government-orchestrated killing. The murderer was never found. I mourned Felicula and grieved over losing a person who gave me a sense of belonging without consideration of my tribe or religion or ethnicity. But if I had lost a chunk of my innocence with her death, I had also learned the folly and danger of unbridled optimism not grounded in the realities of the communities we wish to serve. I grew in understanding, and thanks to the elemental work contributed by Felicula and others, our microfinance bank expanded, reaching borrowers not only in Kigali, but across the nation. Then, in 1994, the Rwandan genocide ripped the country apart, resulting in the slaughter of more than 500,000 people, mostly from the minority Tutsi tribe. Shockingly, one of the co-founders of our beloved institution of social justice emerged as a leader of that horrendous bloodbath. After that, I couldn't help but question all those platitudes I'd heard about women being more nurturing and caring than men. Some women, I'd think, not all women. Yet soon enough, like shoots of fragile flowers creeping upward through granite cracks, a small group of women leaders came together from across the country to put Duterembere back together again. The quiet, resolute actions of these women who had lost everything but hope rekindled their resilience and helped repair the nation's broken heart. 30 years later, not only is Duterembere surviving, but it is thriving and continuing to play its part in Rwanda's remarkable recovery. And though the history of the country's first 3 women parliamentarians ended tragically, Rwanda now has the highest percentage of women parliamentarians of any country on earth. Back in Kigali, on that night in 2016, I reconnected with the memory of Felicula, who had started work she could not complete in her lifetime. She was taken too early, but her work continued anyway, because she cared, fought fiercely for her convictions, and brought others along with her. I was reminded that every one of us stands on the shoulders of those who have gone before, that every one of us has a chance to build on the collective knowledge of remarkable human beings, their achievements, the principles they cherished. And I was there to reassure myself that we have infinitely more knowledge, connection, tools, skills, and resources to tackle the world's injustices today than we did back in Felicula's time, or at any other time in history. The poet T.S. Eliot wrote, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time." That night in Kigali, I renewed my commitment to working toward dreams so big that they may not be completed in my lifetime. And I resolved to write a love letter of sorts to anyone daring to take action in our deeply flawed world. We are made from what came before. We make ourselves out of the promises that lie ahead. And we are always in the process of becoming. When I lived in Rwanda as a younger woman, cell phones, the internet, and social media had yet to be invented. I listened to the news twice daily via the BBC on a shortwave radio. It was a world of separation, separate nations, religions,